Shalom, praises to Yahweh by Shemi double honors to the apostles and the elders of great Millstone. Shalom to the elect by Shemracha Hodash. My name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. And Vocab Malone lies again. Vocab Malone is a liar. All right, the apostle is reviewing his video on Acts 6 chapter, and he makes Vocab Malone makes a fatal mistake. All right, so the title of this will be Vocab Malone is a liar. All right, so unless there's a part that was cut out or something was skipped over, he makes a factual incorrect statement. So if there's nothing was cut out, nothing was skipped over, then he made a factual, he told a lie. All right, and I believe he told a lie. Now, if he didn't tell a lie, he can come back and correct me and say, no, it was a part that you missed. All right, and then everything's fine. But from what it appears, he made a bold-faced lie. All right, let's go to the apostles' video. It's only about 10 seconds.
They have to be a white person, but he'll tell you, he's neither black or white. Well, what color is the Lord? He had to be. Was he rainbow colored? Was he red and black polka dot?
And he spoke and disputed against the Hellenists. That word there means to argue with or to debate.
He said he spoke with against the Hellenists. He spoke with against the Hellenists. Let's let it play.
Black polka dot.
I don't know why the vine just dropped like that, but...
And he spoke and disputed against the Hellenists. That word there means to argue with or to debate.
Dispute means to debate.
That's exactly what it means. Hellenists are Jewish people, Hebrews.
Hellenists are Jewish people.
But nonetheless, they're not agreeing with them that Jesus is the Christ. Hellenists are Jewish people, Hebrews, but nonetheless, they're not agreeing with him that Jesus is the Christ.
That's a lie. He said, nevertheless, they're not agreeing with him that Jesus is the Christ. That doesn't say that anywhere. The dispute was over the alms, was the widows being neglected, not over whether the Messiah was the Mashiach, whether it was Yahushua was the Mashiach. So we just lie. Let's listen to the lie again. Hope the audio is showing up.
Hellenists are Jewish people, Hebrews, but nonetheless, they're not agreeing with him that Jesus is the Christ. Hellenists are Jewish people, Hebrews, but nonetheless, they're not agreeing with him that Jesus is the Christ.
Right, so it didn't skip. The apostle didn't go forward really fast. He said they're not agreeing with him, and that's a lie. All right, that's a lie. They do agree. The reason why they're even dealing with these Israelites, Hellenized Israelites, is because they believe in Messiah. All right, let's go to Acts the 6th chapter. It says, in those days when the number of the disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. Nowhere does it says that the Grecians and the Hebrews were at odds with who the Messiah was. So why did he have the need to inject that into his argument? There's some play going on. I'm not sure what it is. All right, maybe it's he always has to disagree. I think that's what it is. He has to be a contrarian. In those days, when the number of the disciples were increasing, the Hellenistic Jews among them complained against the Hebrews because their widows were being overlooked in the daily distribution of food. That's what the dispute was. It wasn't over the Messiah. Nowhere does it say that the dispute was over the Messiah. This dude is a demon. All right. Now I looked at the video. The seconds the apostle didn't skip over anything. All right. So he can explain that, all right? And if he didn't mean that, he can just correct me and say, well, I didn't mean that. Well, but he plainly said it, all right? So the 12 gathered all the disciples together and said, it would not be right for us to neglect the ministry of the word of the power in order to wait tables. All right. So basically, their job was to be prophets and teachers, not to distribute food. All right. So they had to set up people under them to do that. The 12. That was their main job. Now you can have other prophets where they do that job also, but for the disciples, specifically the apostles, that wasn't their job. All right, they had to stick to the main thing. Now, even if they did do that, they wouldn't be like going off or anything, but that was the Spirit was telling them, to set someone else up to do that. All right, because the example of Stephen, because he was a prophet. All right, and he did that. He waited tables. Or you read down. All right. So nowhere does it say in Acts the 6th chapter, the 1st and 2nd verse, that the circumcised Israelites and the uncircumcised Israelites were at odds because, or I say the believers of Yahweh Shai that were circumcised, and the uncircumcised Israelites, which they may have been circumcised. All right. Because there's different levels of, being Hellenized. All right. But nonetheless, they were classified as Hellenistic Israelites or Hellenistic Jews. All right. Nowhere does it say that they were at odds over not believing in the Messiah. The discrepancy was that their widows were neglected. It clearly says it right there. Because their widows were being overlooked in the daily food distribution. That's the NIV and the KJV, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. All right, so let's look up, what is it? We are not ignorant of his devices. Corinthians, yeah. Yeah, you got it. So when he talks, you got to check. You got to check things out that he says, because he just lies. 2 Corinthians 2 and 10. To whom ye forgive anything, I forgive also. For I forgave anything to whom I forgave it. For your sakes forgave I it in the person of Mashiach, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And one of the main vices of Satan, he'll try to divide us with differences. And we all believe in the Messiah. All right? And we believe in the same doctrine, but Satan will come in and try to divide us over little shit. Or over big things, But we all believe in the same doctrine. We all believe in the Messiah. We all believe that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. All right? And you stick to what's important. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, we are not ignorant of his devices. So we forgive each other. All right. And Esau, Edom. All right. We're not ignorant of your devices. All right. And Vocab Malone specifically here, we know following you is like a doorway to Satan. All right. Following that doctrine is just a bunch of mess. All he does is follow Israelite groups around and be a contrarian. So everything you say is just bad. It's just wrong. All right. So we know his device. His device is just to lie. All right. Just lie. All right. And disagree with you.
Greek people spoke and disputed against the Hellenists. That word there means to argue with or to debate.
Dispute means to debate.
That's exactly what it means. Hellenists are Jewish people, Hebrews, who but nonetheless, they're not agreeing with them that Jesus is the Christ. Hellenists are Jewish people, Hebrews, who but nonetheless, they're not agreeing with them that like Jesus is the Christ.
It does sound like it skips.
Greek people,
but if the subject matter is Acts the 6th chapter, he is a liar. All right, Acts the 6th chapter has nothing to do with a dispute on the law, the prophets. Yahweh Shai has nothing to do with that. The dispute is that the daily administration. Let me go back to Acts 6. The daily administration the daily food distribution. That was a dispute. So Vocab Malone, all right, if I'm hearing this correctly, you are a liar. All right. And the Lord eventually is going to get tired of him and get rid of him. All right. See, the thing is, just like Pharaoh, he built up Pharaoh to a point and then he crushed him. That's what the Lord Yahushua, the Messiah, the Savior of Israel. All right. Northern kingdom, southern kingdom together is going to destroy Esau, Edom, and Vocab Malone. He's building him up to a point, to his height, and then he's going to crush him. Right where he at his height, he's going to crush them. So the Egyptians were at their height, and then the Lord crushed the Egyptians and drowned his, he killed the firstborn, and then drowned their horses and riders in the depths of the sea, in the Red Sea, all right? Which was a gulf of the Red Sea. It was a vein, a runoff of the Red Sea, right? But, it's called the Red Sea. The modern name is an Arabic name that did not exist back then, all right? So the takeaway from here is when you analyze Vocab very carefully, it's really easy, actually. He always lies many of the times. He'll say something that's factual, and then he'll mix it with a lie, just like the serpent in the garden did. Let's look up that real quick. All right, this proves this dude's a devil. All right. I believe it was the first or second chapter, but it might be the second chapter. Yeah. Genesis 2 and it might be the third chapter, actually. Yeah, third chapter. Now, 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made, Yahweh, Elohim, and said unto the woman, hath the power said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, ye may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the power has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. All right? And that was teachings from other nations. The serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Whoa. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. For the power, so he lied. All right. For the power doth know that in that day ye eat thereof, this is the truth, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So the fourth verse was the truth, was a lie. Fourth verse was a lie. Fifth verse was the truth. Because back then our eyes wasn't open to the whole scheme, right, the whole plan of good and evil. All right. So what? She ate the fruit, and then she taught Adam, all right, about wickedness. All right. And she learned a doctrine. And then Adam learned the doctrine. All right. So by eating that fruit, they understood evil also, because before then they only knew to keep only what the Lord had said to keep, and they never went off from that. So that's how we fell, through the woman, and then ultimately through Adam, because Adam was ultimately responsible. All right. So but it started with the woman. All right. So I'll leave that there. All right. This is an attribute, a feature of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And Vocab Malone has this feature working at full power. All right, so I'll leave that there. Hope you're edified. Shalom.